Today on the MotoMan Podcast. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about a Jeff Bezos-backed startup that's making a $25,000 electric truck. However, the guy responsible for one of the key aspects of Slate's development says the electric part may be the least interesting thing about it.
The cool part about it is there's no options, there's no trims. We've left it as an open canvas for you to personalize and make it your own.
That philosophy makes a whole lot more sense when you see where CJ Waelti came from.
When you look at the move from Harley to Tesla, from the move from this legendary burn in our DNA America story to cutting edge of technology, and you combine those two worlds, that's kind of what we're doing here. You've got this element of personalization and expression that is new again to the industry.
But there's an obvious problem with selling a cheap vehicle as a blank slate. How do you keep personalization from becoming another word for upsell?
There's this mental model that you're going to buy the blank slate, and then you're completely going to bleed out of your wallet for everything over the next several months or years of ownership. And to do our job right, that could not be the reality that we want to create.
And even if that model works, Slate still has to make good on the promise that's humbled many startups, not just automotive. Wildcard.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Finally.
We've made it.
We finally did. Because you and I were supposed to be together.
I wasn't
Jeff
media
kept
trained.
us apart.
I was not media trained.
You don't need to be.
I got my learner's permit now.
We're gonna give you your pro advanced racing license right now. You're probably
Fantastic.
gonna get fired after this, but it's gonna be great while we do it.
As long as people know about me.
People, you will be internet famous. You can take that to the wife and kids.
That can be good and bad.
Well,
I've seen the Instagram.
should we tell them that you don't have any cool cars or cool airplanes?
We should get that out of the way.
Let's get it right out of the way. So this is actually, you know what? No, you got to give them some context. Tell us your resume. This is why I'm so excited to speak to you. Tell us your resume.
I'm a total mutt. Started the career at Harley-Davidson.
Yes.
More so on the design and engineering side. Halfway through, I moved over into manufacturing. I got to run injection molding shops. I got to work in assembly. I got to work with our teams down in Brazil. Came back, worked in HR for a little bit.
Hey, okay, you are the farthest from HR I could ever imagine.
That's what they said too.
And that's why you had to go to the next company.
Got my MBA and ironically moved over to Tesla during the Model X launch.
So how do you go from, wait, I don't understand. You go from a motorcycle company, like old world, old-timey motorcycle
Old
company,
school motorcycle company.
to the future.
To the future.
How did that happen?
At an HR conference.
Someone just like poached you?
You meet a couple engineers.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about time and attendance. And then you're talking about operational excellence and labor tracking in the factory.
So you just wowed them with your numbers.
And we
With your
said,
PowerPoint skills?
no, and we said, hey, let's smash these two together and see if there's an opportunity there. And there was.
So Tesla, now SpaceX, very, very, very famous
Yes.
for like picking people off, the right people. Like this woman, I forgot her name, the CEO of SpaceX. She's a billionaire now, but she never interviewed for the job. She just went to a going away party at Tesla for someone at, I think it was SpaceX. And then Elon just happened to turn up and he's like, you know what? You're cool. Why don't you come work for my company? She's employee number one. And now she's a billionaire.
They picked some great people.
Are you a billionaire?
No.
Okay, so that didn't work out for you.
No. I'd be internet famous for other reasons if I was.
Okay, so Tesla, and then where'd you go after Tesla?
Went over to Rivian after that.
Okay, now people are starting to see why I'm excited to talk to you because I've been very, very upfront. I'm a huge proponent of Slate. I probably shouldn't put it on my show because I'm kind of biased. And the reason why I'm biased is how it started, the whole the rebuild investment fund, which is about bringing manufacturing to the U.S. That's the most exciting part to me. But to everyone else, it's, oh my God, it's now at a $25,000 to $24,950 truck.
That's right.
That's EV, that you can make all your own, and you got all these accessories. I've met everybody at the company, including the CEO today. You are the one that personifies Slate. Full stop.
I appreciate that.
So explain to me what you've been doing since you and I first met, about a year ago?
Hiding in a dark corner with a team of some really great folks. No, in all seriousness, being one of the earlier employees here, it's been a fantastic experience kind of creating the greatest hits in my career so far. So I grew up with motorcycles, grew up in the world of personalization, grew up with technology, grew up with a lot of great leaders along the way.
Are you a motorcycle guy? Like, have you always been into motorcycles?
I got my license at 18 and I've been motorcycle license at 18. I've been riding ever since.
But you don't have a motorcycle now.
I do have a motorcycle.
You do?
I do. I've got a Harley Street Glide. I was on the design team when it was a pencil sketch on a napkin all the way through its final production launch.
Even more fascinating that you are now third EV startup.
Yes.
I don't know if you know him, Greg Tata. That's today's podcast episode. He is lead advanced design for Piaggio here in America.
Super cool.
Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, good stuff. And, he tells me the story of like motorcycle people don't change. They don't like change. And you are the personification of change.
For me, it's about the cool thing. What I love about motorcycle, it's get out, it's expression, it's freedom. You're having a bad day, you swing your leg over a bike, you get out and you go do something fun for yourself, and it clears the mind, and it really reconnects you with a much more mechanical world than everybody's living in today.
So what is it specifically you are bringing me 3 examples?
Yes.
That you are bringing to, let's just say the EV world first, because you've got 2 alum at this point.
Yeah, of course. EV world. I actually think the most interesting thing about Slate is that it's not an EV. We're not leading with that headline. It's all about affordability. It's about personalization. And I think that really gets to the heart of what we're about. Whether it's a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, an 8-cylinder, or an electric motor, that gets you A to B. The vehicle's fantastic. I think you got to ride in one. But what's not yet. Oh, so you're in line. You're waiting. I think they just called you.
Well, no, Jeff said I could drive it. He said I could borrow it.
I'll let Jeff handle that one.
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm driving a Polestar 4 right now and leave that here. He's going to drive the Polestar 4. I'm driving
Got it. Okay.
They got to move a TV.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you can do that with this, which is really cool. But yeah, like the fact that it's an EV for me is the least exciting part about it, because the world's changing. The cool part about it is there's no options, there's no trims. I drive a Rivian. They're fantastic vehicles. Love Rivian. What I love about the Slate is we've left it as an open canvas for you to personalize and make it your own.
Was that the reason for your moving to Slate?
Yes.
The whole accessorization, or was it, I'm going on startup number 3 and I'm going to cash in?
I am not a glutton for punishment as much as people think I am. No, for me, it really was the mission, the personalization. When you look at the move from Harley to Tesla, from the move from this legendary burn in our DNA America story to cutting edge of technology, and you combine those 2 worlds, that's kind of what we're doing here. You've got great technology, you got great reliability in the truck, but you've got this element of personalization and expression that is new again to the industry that we haven't seen in a long time.
So when I first met you, I only got the Harley part of the background. I didn't get the whole jump Tesla to Rivian. And you know who gave that to me is your board member. What's his name?
Rod.
Who is apparently the godfather of the
employee number 1.
Employee number 1 at Rivian.
Yeah, it's Slate.
At Slate. But no, he was employee number 2 at Rivian or something like that, wasn't he?
No, he came along. I was there before Rod at Rivian.
Oh, I got the math wrong on that one.
But he is employee 1 at Slate.
So, he came from the rebuild side. Yes, I want to talk to that guy as well. So, explain to me how difficult is it to create an accessory business in 2025, 26, and not motorcycles. Like, people get it for motorcycles, but cars, it's usually there's good, better, best, or there's the Porsche folks, which is, you want your key to be painted? $1,000. How do you do that effectively at a $25,000 price point?
So the dad joke is, it's twice as hard as Harley. There's twice the amount of wheels to worry about to start, right? But no, in all seriousness,
Even are you a dad?
no, I'm not.
You're not. Okay.
I've got a couple dogs.
that dad joke.
Sorry, I've got time to practice. It's like a dad joke within a dad joke. That's horrible. No, honestly, for me, it's
I just want to point. I had to interject. His head of PR says he's not media trained, which is the reason why we didn't have him on the podcast last time.
this is the learner's permit.
This is the reason why.
This is why.
But this is what we want.
People are cringing right now that I'm in this room.
You don't understand. People are going to be like, "Why did Jeff go on the podcast and he didn't send this guy first?"
He's feeling it out.
Okay, go on. I interrupted.
It's hard and it's not at the same time. So, there's always going to be a thriving aftermarket for everything that's out there. The hardest part about the job that I've got right now is you've got the blank slate, and then you've got all the other complexity that used to exist as options and trim packages. And then there's this mental model that you're going to buy the blank slate, and then you're completely going to bleed out of your wallet for everything over the next several months or years of ownership. And to do our job right, that could not be the reality that we want to create. So the way we've thought about it is much different than what's out there today. We think of things more like buying shoes or buying a phone case, for example. As we think about like seat covers, our seat covers zip off rather than have to pay for thousands of dollars for the upgraded seat trim package.
From the factory. So the one you get initially, it's a zipper.
Initially, it's the zipper. That enables me to do almost infinite stuff over time. Quite literally, in the product brief, it says no saggy potato sack seat covers. See, I'm working on this podcast.
Yeah, you're getting there. I mean, you're getting there. By the time we're done with this, you will probably have your own podcast.
Oh, I don't know about
We just have to come up with a name for it. Like, how do we because you have an interesting last name.
It's Waelti.
Yeah.
But I'm also a big dude.
Waelti's World.
I was thinking Waelti's Big Dude Reviews.
No,
that's too cheesy.
It's a little bare. I think you get the wrong audience.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We'll
work on it. It's a beta.
We'll get there. So let's get back to success.
Let's do it.
Because EVs, I think, okay, I get it. You aren't leading with the EV, and I guess I would agree with you. You really don't spend any time at least the messaging that I've seen. It's more about the price and cars are too expensive. Actually, it's not even about your car. It's the world has gotten too expensive. That's what I see as the messaging.
Exactly.
How do you layer on this or attract folks? I would think they have to be enthusiasts. Because when I think of a cheap car, I don't see anybody buying accessories or trying to personalize it other than putting like a sticker or like a woman that puts like a teddy bear on the dash. In the cheap car world, Porsche's a different story.
I don't have any teddy bears for the dash. You just made me think of that.
Okay, I want 10% of the take. But you know what? Oh, can I tell you a true story?
You can.
And just so you can make some money.
Let's do it.
So Bentley, they're very famously, customize their cars. So one of their customers in the Middle East, he calls them one day and says, you know what? I love the car, but the gas cap, it's terrible. Like, this is a $300,000 car. I want a good gas cap. And they're like, oh, I know we can't do it because we gotta certify the car in all these different countries.
Yep.
Like 2 weeks later, they get a blank check that just says F and fix it. And they're like, wow, this guy's kind of serious. So they put a team on it and they play around with the idea and they come up with this billet aluminum gas cap that becomes an option on Bentleys. It is like an 80 to 90% take rate option on Bentleys now. We're talking like a $2,000 gas cap. So this guy gets a package back in the mail, the gas cap, and the first royalty check for the gas cap. True story from Bentley.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we don't have royalty checks, but we're opening up our marketplace. So
no, I want the royalty check because I just gave you such a great idea.
Well, you could give us the teddy bear.
How about a CJ teddy bear to put on the dashboard after this podcast? That will definitely do a thing.
I think that gets me famous for the wrong reasons.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, again, we're going down a dark path, man. Let's get back to it. So, you see my point.
I do.
It works on Bentleys. It works on enthusiast cars. What are you guys doing to make it sticky in $25,000 cars?
I love that question. So I think the first problem to make people realize exists is that you can personalize. Things come with so many options and trims today, right? You want leather seats, you want premium audio. You're paying for all these packages that have 90% of the stuff in the package might not be something that you want. You also might not be aware that you can do that nowadays. You know, kids are on their iPads, everything's on the internet. But the message that needs to get out is you can wrench again. You don't even have to wrench in many cases here because our accessories pop in, pop off. They're super swappable. So a lot of it is telling the story that like DIY is still a thing. And to enable DIY, you work your way all the way back to the genesis of when we're doing architecture on the vehicle. The way to do that is you lock the accessories guy in with the chief engineer, the head of vehicle integration, all the heads of function, all the heads of design, the finance guys, the brand guys and gals, and you say, what's all the crazy stuff we could possibly do? Let's make sure that the vehicle can support that. Now, we're not going to be towing fifth wheel campers and all that kind of stuff, but we've got exposed fasteners again. We've got swappable panels. We've got trim clips that you can actually access that don't snap off the first time you try to access it. We've got electrical points around the vehicle. And by leaning in and saying, hey, somebody's eventually going to have to interface with this, that creates a world of opportunity for me to springboard off of.
All of us here at MotoMan are super excited to not only have the podcast back, but for it to be its own show. And there we look to you for a little assistance. Can you help us grow the show? Two really easy ways to do that. First and foremost, if you're reaching out via YouTube or other streaming platforms, you click on subscribe, notifications, or more importantly, share these episodes with your friends, especially on Reddit. Now, if you're downloading these episodes, listening via podcast platforms, we'd ask you to rate us. The good stars are wonderful, but leaving a written review would be even better, especially sharing who was your favorite guest. So with that, I am incredibly grateful for your assistance in help growing this. And now, back to the episode. Was there ever the contrarian in the room that said, this is a great idea, but the world's going in a different direction? You see like 18-year-olds putting off getting their driver's license because they don't want to drive. Or people aren't interacting with vehicles, they're not getting excited about cars anymore. Was there ever that discussion?
Our goal was to create something that was not just affordable, but something that was also fun. And so you could argue I was probably the contrarian in the room because I come from power sports and startup world, in a world of a lot of great OEM expertise that have done fantastic programs with the Stellantis products, with Jeep. There's been people that have been all around the world doing really, really cool stuff in the automotive world. But the contrarian in the room was this idea that options and trim packages don't exist, with decades of experience developing options and trim packages. So the hard part was really fracturing that up. Getting back to somebody doesn't get their license until they're 18 or beyond. Why get a license for something that's so unaffordable out there in the world to begin with? I think making this be much more approachable, much more accessible, starts to open that world back up for people in a much more interesting way. I also think people are getting sick of the iPads, getting car sick in an Uber. Like, it creates this whole new sense of freedom. I live here in Southern California, and you see kids riding around on e-bikes way more than you see them on iPads nowadays, which is kind of cool. People are getting out and exploring again.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where the inspiration comes from too.
I know I'm kind of going all over the map in terms of pricing here, but I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah.
Luce. We're not going to debate the exterior. However, would you look at or say true or false? Do you feel some of the changes the Luce ushers in terms of UX design kind of validates what you're doing?
From a personalization element?
No, from it's simple. It's moving away from screens.
I think the world has heard loud and clear that we've gone too far for screens. I mean, we've got like the holy grail of HVAC. It's a simple knob that you can touch, and people are going that way again.
That's one of my favorite things about the car.
I also don't like fingerprints. Like when I drive, like there's nothing worse than fingerprints on your dash.
Are you an OCD kind of a guy?
I'm not. I'm just clean.
Okay. I'm an OCD kind of a guy. It's a problem for me. So the answer would be true. The fact that they've put in like switches again
That's true.
into a car.
I'd say true.
One that polarizing, I think, to say the least. But
well, there's the true and the fact that switches and the direction is great. The matter of execution is subject for debate.
Yeah. You know what? You are actually very media trained. You could almost be a politician with an answer like that.
So I got 1 point
That gives you 5 points at
5 points on
least.
the permit. Fantastic.
Yeah. Jeff will probably, the vein will come out like right here, but hey, that's a good answer.
Do you know how many veins are popping out of Jeff right now? The fact that I'm in the room?
His wife is here, so she's calming him down. Yeah.
She's probably holding him back from running up the stairs.
It's very lovely. She's very lovely. I was there before the wife, and I was the one that said, "You're not going to do better than this woman."
Smart man.
A very smart man.
And smart man listening to your advice.
He did. He did. No, he definitely made the right choice on that one. Anyway, I'm going off on a personal tangent. So let's now switch gears.
Let's do it.
You got a lot going on in terms of you can do all these accessories, and the car is, again, it's $25,000. You can make it an SUV. But something I didn't know until I recently read the documents that Jeff sent me, the whole service thing.
Yeah.
I know you guys said that originally it was kind of nebulous. We're going to be able to offer affordable service. But now, if I get this correctly, it's the same provider that does the CarMax warranties. Is that correct?
You'd have to get the official stat on Jeff from Jeff on that one.
Well, according to his documentation, it's Repair
Pal.
Repair Pal.
Repair Pal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of moving parts in the car, a lot of different parts, a lot of configurations.
We actually have less moving parts in the car because the whole EV thing. But
No, I mean the
interesting.
accessories. The
Oh, yeah.
accessories kind of make it this complex mosaic. How do you work with this outside vendor to deliver service when there's so many different configurations of Slate?
I think that highlights a couple really interesting things. So first of all, when we think of accessories, our first thing we go through is how can this be DIY? So before you even get to service, we want to say, what's the easiest way that a customer or even a kid that's never wrenched on something before can swap this on their own? We'll be publishing videos, how-tos.
Are you going to star in all the videos?
I hope not.
I hope you are.
I don't have
People will
that
buy
much
the car
time.
just for that.
We have so many. I don't have much time.
You have to get the new podcast.
It's quick to install them. However,
Yeah. Actually, before you go on, serious question. Do you know the demographics that are coming in? Because you've got a lot of voters in this, like 180,000 people that said, I want this car. Do you know the demographics? There's like more men, more female, age range, you know any of that stuff?
all over the place because it's so affordable and approachable. We've attracted people from all walks of life.
That's a very media trained answer. I mean, very
As
media
the accessories guy, when people say, who are you making accessories for? This is the best one. The answer is yes.
Okay, so back to the whole working with, what is it called? Repair Max?
Repair Pal.
Repair Pal, yeah.
Yep. So it starts with DIY. And the whole point of DIY is we want to provide affordable accessories for people. We can't have a bait and switch where we're forcing you to have it installed in the factory or forcing you to go get install services done. We really, really want people to give it a try. It's not scary. Most people will be able to do this. We've had people do things like a radio swap with our audio unit in like 30 minutes or less without training. But
so you bring in like civilians into this building and say, here's a Slate, change the radio.
We've got civilians all around the company. And that's the beauty of the startup is you've got so many different walks of life, some that are automotive and some that are completely from other industries.
But they work for Slate that you experiment with.
Yeah, we find that people that have like, who's the person that's wrenched on this the least?
Yeah.
And we say, hey, what are you up to? And then you trick them and then you bring them in and then they do the demo for you.
Okay. Brings up a good point. Jeff, I don't know if you're aware of this. Jeff sent, and again, I keep on referring to Jeff. Jeff runs communications. He's also a very good friend of mine, and he was the first guest from Slate on my podcast. Anyway, he sent out this like data fact sheet.
Yes.
That we went. That's why I'm getting some of this stuff
scroll.
from. Yes, we got all this stuff. And
that's advanced media training. I haven't gotten that far yet.
But again, by the time you're done with this, you'll be post hoc. He made this comment, or there was this line in there about someone could do, you could get the wrap.
Yes.
And from the factory, they send you the wrap, and you could have it professionally done in like less than a day.
That's right.
How the hell does that happen?
This goes back to locking a bunch of great brains in a room and saying, how can we do the impossible?
Now, before you go on, level set for the audience. How long, like any normal car, how long would it take to wrap a normal car?
It can be days.
Can be. No, it's definitely days.
It's definitely days.
Definitely days.
I want to give the guys some credit that are doing it.
Even PPF takes days.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. We've had, I'm not going to name names. I have a product manager on my team. We had their mom in one of the initial clinics. Did not think she could wrap, and she wrapped in an afternoon.
Did it have bubbles on it?
It looked great.
I need to see this car.
So, and some of this goes into the magic that like Tisha and her team have done.
Yeah. Tish, lead of design, and she came from Volvo.
Head of design.
Fantastic work at Volvo.
Fantastic work at Volvo. Fantastic human, and her team is stellar. It all leads into the, if you look at the surface on the vehicle, we've tried to minimize compound curvature. We've got coach lines in the vehicle that give a panel breakup. The analogy I use is the coach lines also prevent the giant unruly pieces of sticky paper that you're putting on the vehicle to eliminate the duct tape effect.
You know what they used to call those lines at General Motors?
What's that?
Hider lines.
Hider lines?
That's where they could hide like big panel gaps, especially in the interior. So you're saying, if I'm getting this correctly, the design took into account that you were going to offer this wrap accessorization.
Yes.
So it's a feature, not a bug.
Correct. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I was in tech way too long, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was good.
way too long. Okay, so we have a lot more to discuss.
We do.
But here's the catch. I only have you for a short period of time.
That's true.
Yes. So what we need to do now is we need to turn this around to the audience.
Is this where we do the cheesy like or hear it in the comments thing so that people engage with the video?
No. Well, but they should. They should do that. And this is a podcast.
Oh, it's a podcast.
So you gotta leave a review. You got to review a written review and stars and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
so
shoot.
Thank you for doing that.
Is it 5-star review or
Yes.
how does it work? Is it like an
as
inverter,
many
or is it
stars as you can do?
all the stars?
As all the stars.
Like full
But
galaxy
before
type
we get
stuff.
to that,
All right.
Unfortunately, you and I have limited time. But you'll come back. However, I want to close with this.
We're going to do this in the hangar, right?
We're going to do this in the hangar, yeah?
And we can talk airplanes.
You know what else? He's a pilot. Doesn't know what you do, but you don't have a cool car.
I don't have a plane. I don't have a plane.
You got to fix this.
I got to fix this.
He says he's a Mopar guy. That's the only thing I don't like about this guy.
I'm a Omni car guy, not a Dodge Omni.
If you said Dodge Omni, get the hell. I'm not even publishing this.
Not that kind of Mopar.
Okay, so
I'm a cool car guy.
we need to end on this.
Let's do it.
When I first talked to Jeff about this, and then I first met you guys said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a car by end of 2026." I've been in tech long enough to know. I mean, that's a lovely idea, but it ain't happening. From what I'm hearing from now your new CEO, that's happening.
So
Give me 3 reasons I should believe that. 3 reasons that you're actually going to hit Q4 2026.
So, reason number 1, the car that you're going to drive in was built in our Warsaw, Indiana factory. It's a pre-prod, was built in our factory already. There's not the complexity of options and trims and an impossible logistics combination to dial in to get it to your driveway. And 3, this is my 4th startup. And I'm batting a pretty good average so far.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, it's coming.
I want to dig into that more, but I'm getting the evil eye. So I'm going to let you get back down to the room there. But sir, I cannot thank you enough for coming and joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And being your first exposure to media. Thank you for being part of this.
Thank you.
And actually, Jeff just walked in the room, so I'm really getting the evil
Is he
eye.
right behind me?
He's right behind you.
right behind me.
Yes. We want Jeff.
Do you recognize this voice? This is narrated by me, Jeff. I work at Slate and just happen to have a great voice.
He really does.
Actually, Jeff is the official voice of Slate. So he has 2 jobs at Slate.
It is creepy when it's in your ear, though.
So I guess we never ended it this way with an interloper. But hey, Jeff, we get him back at some point, right? In the hangar? You hope so. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Anyway, you know what we're gonna say? Turn around to the audience. What accessories do they want that you're not doing yet? Comments below. And anything else you want from this guy, he's the one that makes it happen. Until we see you in the next episode, be better.